My former employer was stiffing me on money. While trying to get what he owed me, I kinda sorta ruined his marriage and probably his whole life. Some years back, I ended up doing work for this guy I'll call Dick. It was just a side job for extra money, not my career or anything. Dick had a small business, it's boring, I won't get into any of that. Before me, he had one other employee, so I made two. Just two employees. That's how small a business it was. The thing was, Dick ran his business like shit. I didn't know the specifics of his financial situation, but based on where he lived, the car he drove, etc., he was doing pretty well. Maybe it was inheritance or whatever, I didn't know. But his situation clearly wasn't due to this business, which again, he ran like shit. In fact, he ran the business like such utter shit that after about 6 months after I started doing work for him, the business wasn't making money anymore. So instead of regular payments like usual, the other employee and I had to start asking where our money was before it showed up. Then the payments started getting more and more behind. Eventually, I was owed around $500. Then one day, the other employee tells me, "I'm done. He owes me like $5,000 and I'm not going to keep working for nothing." I was like, whoa shit, because I had no idea he was owed that much. The trouble with pay clearly went back farther than I knew. So Dick ended up coming to me and said, "Look, I owe the other guy money and I need to pay him. Do you mind if I get him all paid up? Which means I gotta hold off on your pay for a month or two. But once he's paid off, I swear I'll make it all up to you." Because I'm a fucking idiot. And because I felt bad about the first employee who was a good dude, I said fine, go ahead. So I didn't get paid at all for a while, which upped my total owed to about $1,500. Then eventually, I heard from the other employee, and he told me Dick finally paid him everything he was owed. Great, I thought. Now it's my turn. LOL. A few weeks after I heard the other employee was paid up, which I only ever heard from him, never from Dick. Dick told me he was closing the business, which didn't shock me at all. Surely it had been losing money for quite a while. I go, "Okay, so where's my money?" And I told him exactly how much he owed me. I got back, well, the thing is, I can't pay you now, but..." This went on for a year. I looked into what my steps were legally, but I'd have had to file something in small claims court, and it's only $1,500, and having to get a lawyer would probably eat up most of it. So I just kept bugging Dick about the money. I was like, "Hey, pay me $25 a month, I don't care." But he wouldn't even do that. He told me about how he's got to go through all this stuff to dissolve the business and everything, and he'll pay me as soon as he can, and overall he just avoided taking any responsibility. At one point, he said something about how people were currently suing him. Big shock. And he'd get me in contact with his lawyers if I wanted so my debt could be added in or something. I said, fine, give me their names, numbers. He never did. Eventually, I realized that nothing was ever going to come of this, and I was just going to be out the money I was owed. But while I'd been doing the work for him, I had emailed back and forth with his wife maybe a dozen times. To this day, I've never met his wife, never even spoken with her. Just communicated through email and text. But she seemed really nice, and she'd told me something like, "Dick won't tell you this, but he doesn't really know what he's doing with this business, and I know you've been a big help." So I just got the idea that, you know what? This next email I send Dick about trying to get my money, I'm gonna include his wife on it too, so she knows how much he sucks. I heard back from her almost right away and she was like, "I'm so sorry about this. Please keep me posted on what happens." Then suddenly, magically, Dick started talking about working out a payment schedule. He started sending me $100 every month, and the debt got down to $1,000. I figured his wife must have got on his ass about it, and I laughed to myself about how whipped old Dick was. But then the money stopped coming again. The excuses started coming again. One day he told me that he was just going through a hard time financially right now, which I knew was bullshit. He still had the nice car, the nice house, etc. But it's not like I had a printout of his bank records I could call him out on. On that exact same day, he told me that though, I was watching the local pro team's baseball game later that night, and who did I see but Dick? In great seats no less, second row right down in front, just off to the right. Every time they zoomed in on a right-handed batter, you could clearly see him. And this was in September, in the midst of a playoff race, so those tickets were not cheap. It's no Perry Mason moment. But the thought of replying to his "I'm having financial trouble" email with a picture of him in those seats, and me being like, "Yeah, I can see that," gave me a raging justice boner. So I was looking for a good image of him to use, But every time I paused the video, his face got somewhat out of focus. It was clearly him if you watched the video, but I needed a still image that was also clearly him. Then in the 7th inning, a foul ball got caught about 2 rows behind him, and they zoomed in on that area of the crowd. And there was Dick clear as day, sitting with his wife. I'm thinking, aha, I got you now, motherfucker. The next morning, I replied to his prior message by sending that screen capture to him. I figured even if I didn't get my money, at least I had that one sweet moment of satisfaction of busting him there. Then almost at the last second, I decided to send it to his wife too, just so she knew what was going on, and how the money had stopped again. And remembering how quickly Dick's tune had changed that first time I'd included her, I even thought that maybe her being in the picture would make her light an even hotter fire under his ass this time. So I sent it, but I didn't hear anything back from either of them. 2-3 days went by, and nothing. Then I heard from the other employee I'd worked with. He goes, "You hear about Dick?" I said, "No, what?" His wife kicked him out and filed for divorce. I'm like, holy fuck, no way. Yeah, apparently she caught him cheating on her. I thought, I wonder how... You know what would be crazy? What if that wasn't his wife in that picture? And I sent her that picture. And, LOL, no way. I thought, I wonder how... You know what would be crazy? What if that wasn't his wife in that picture? And I sent her that picture. And, LOL, no way. He was probably talking about the divorce when he mentioned having financial trouble. That would make sense. The divorce was already in the works before the picture. Yeah. There's literally no chance whatsoever that I inadvertently told his wife he was cheating on her. LOL, I mean, come on. Right? Nope, that was literally what had happened. The woman at the game with him? Not his wife. Apparently his wife knew the woman though, and knew that Dick had lied about where he was that night, and who he was with. And a shitstorm of epic proportions quickly followed. I ended up emailing her not long after, and being like, hello there, I've been hearing some things, and I can't help thinking that picture I sent might have been part of this. And she said she'd been meaning to contact me. She thanked me, said she'd wanted out of the marriage anyway, and said she might need me as a witness. I didn't know what for. Are divorces like trials? But anyway, she paid me the $1,000 he owed me, plus another $500 on top. I don't know if she thought he still owed me $1,500, or if she purposely gave me extra. And I didn't have to be a witness for anything, which was good. Also, Dick's nice car and nice house and all. His wife was the one with the money, meaning that he no longer has it. They got divorced and he moved away, and I have no idea what became of him. Honestly, considering everything that happened, I feel kinda bad for him. But then I remember there's no reason he couldn't have just paid me. Seriously, why not just pay? He had the money. I just chalk it up to Dick having a lot of negative karma coming his way, and I played a part in it catching up with him.